This is CNBC's live blog covering Asia-Pacific markets. Asia-Pacific markets rose Monday ahead of a slew of economic data from China, with investors also focused on a week full of central bank meetings. The U.S. Federal Reserve will start its Federal Open Market Committee meeting on Tuesday. A Reuters poll of economists is expecting the Fed to hold its benchmark interest rates steady at 5.25% to 5.5%. In Asia, the Reserve Bank of Australia is expected to keep its cash rate steady at 4.35% when it concludes its meeting on Tuesday. In contrast, a Reuters poll expects the Bank of Japan to exit its negative interest rate policy and lift its benchmark rate to 0% from -0.1% when it makes its announcement on Tuesday. In Europe, the Bank of England is expected to keep rates unchanged at 5.25%. In Australia, the S&P/ASX 200 slipped 0.19% in early trade. In contrast, Japan's Nikkei 225 rose 1.34%, leading gains in Asia, while the Topix climbed 1.21%. South Korea's Kospi was trading close to the flatline after recording an almost 2% loss on Friday, while the small-cap Kosdaq was up 0.9%. Futures for Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index stood at 16,752. Pointing to a stronger open compared to the HSI's close of 16,720.89. China is set to release a slew of economic data on Monday, including its February retail sales, industrial output, and urban unemployment numbers. On Friday in the U.S., all three indexes fell on Friday as inflation concerns remain front and center ahead of the Federal Reserve's policy meeting. The S&P 500 lost 0.65%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average dipped 0.49%, while the Nasdaq Composite slipped 0.96%. CNBC's Brian Evans and Alex Harring contributed to this report. Crude oil futures fell slightly Friday but gained for the week after rising in the two previous sessions. The West Texas Intermediate contract for April fell 22 cents, or 0.27%, to settle at $81.04 a barrel. The Brent contract for May lost 8 cents, or 0.09%, to settle at $85.34 a barrel. U.S. crude and the global benchmark are up more than 3.5% week to date so far. Consumer sentiment was little changed in March, though it was slightly below what Wall Street had expected, according to a closely watched University of Michigan survey released Friday. The survey of consumers posted a reading of 76.5, down 0.4 points from February and missing the Dow Jones consensus estimate for 77.4. Inflation expectations were unchanged at both the 1- and 5-year horizons, at 3% and 2.9% respectively. The Current Conditions Index also was unchanged at 79.4. After strong gains between November 2023 and January 2024, consumer views have stabilized into a holding pattern. Consumers perceived few signals that the economy is currently improving or deteriorating, said Joanne Hsu, the survey's director. Hsu added that consumers are withholding judgment until the November presidential election. Cryptocurrency holders on the East Coast woke up to a lot of red on their screens on Friday.